can't stay. Hello guys, it's Lita. Hope you're all amazing, and if you are not, I hope my podcast puts a smile on your faces that makes you laugh. Hopefully this will make you laugh. Now this is very different to what you guys are used to with videos. I have done previous 2 podcasts before. And for those that are new, or for those that are currently here to subscribe to the channel, for a long time, I wanted to do more one-on-one with certain particular blogger people and YouTube people. And finally, that is happening because your girl over here, Lita, she finally figured out how to do this podcast thing, set it all up, but the editing process, well, that's still going to be a new thing for me. But we are here, and I'm so happy that this is finally taking off, and you're going to see a lot of these podcasts, hopefully, for in the future, and for what is to come. But this very special podcast, the first of many, I had to ask I believe, one of the most influential people within the Annie blogging community. And she is a real treat. You definitely would want to have a drink with this individual, and that is Miss Irina from I Drink and Watch Anime blog. Say hello to everybody, Miss Irina.
Well, hello everybody. Hello, Lita. Lita has oversold me drastically. I appreciate it. Guys, please, I do better with lowered expectations. And thank you for that fantastic introduction, Lita. I don't know about your listeners. It sure put a smile on my face, though.
Hopefully I do. Hopefully I put a smile and make people laugh. You know, that's really the whole point of when I do my videos and blog posts and whatever. You have not. Oh, of course I had to sell you. I mean, for those that only subscribe to my channel, that only watch my videos, they're not going to know you. But they're going to know you after this, they are. They're going to want to go check out your blog and try one of your drinking games, which we will get around to talking about. But Miss Irina, this is our first time actually chatting to one another. So this is a real honour for me, it is. I have always wanted to do this with you, I have. So I'm so happy that it is finally happening. And for what we will be discussing in our little podcast today, obviously, is to get to know Miss Irina. For those that don't, we'll be talking about the stresses of blogging life and what it's like to be an anime blogger. And then we will dive into some fun little topics that I have up my sleeve, because you guys know I'm full of surprises. So, Miss Irina, I'm very curious to know, the very first of many questions I have for you, what is that brought you to want to create your blog, which is I Drink and Watch Anime? So every blog has a story. Every blog has a birth of life that they bring into this world. And you brought us the drunk version. So please do tell us how and when your wonderful blog of drinking came to be.
Well, actually, it's a depressingly ordinary story.
We like ordinary. We can mix up ordinary.
So, summer of 2017 is when I started my blog, and I really just started it on a whim. I was looking for a hobby that, wouldn't be too expensive or physically harmful. So I figured, hey,
physically harmful? What, like sewing and needles?
Or exercise, or like sports, or something that would bring me outside. So I figured, hey, blogging, I can't write, that's all right, I'll just try this out. And I honestly thought that I would never get a reader ever. Like, I would just put some stuff out there and it would exist and it will be there, and then 5 years after I've given up on the blog, maybe someone would read it somewhere, and that
Pick it up from the
felt like the
ashes. You'll
plan,
have a tape.
Yeah, the big expectations there. So that was my big plan, and that's really all there was to it. I have like a little touch of OCD, so I'm a person that likes to have something that I can do every day and that's structured. So that's where I'm pouring that out into the blog. I'm using it as like my little OCD therapy, but it was really, really just a random thought that crossed my mind.
Well, you manifested it into something very wonderful, and you have over 1,000 followers. You do, and you made yourself quite the name. So, coming from such an ordinary background and story, you've created something that was once in a cocoon, and now it's flourished into a beautiful butterfly. We're all flying on the wings of Irina's butterfly wings.
Oh, Lita, you are so good at selling stuff. I feel like I should be paying you.
I'm not that good at selling stuff. Mainly,
You
the,
are. If you're not in marketing, you should go into it
I'm
right
not.
now.
I'm gravely disappointingly to tell you that I'm not in marketing. No, maybe I'm good. Maybe I could have a job at advertising for people's podcasts, YouTubes, and
There you go.
blogs. That could be my new side job. I'll
You got
just
a big career.
oh, but going from I don't think yours is an ordinary story. I mean, we all start somewhere. Mine's pretty ordinary story of how I started
Actually,
blogging.
what is your story, Lita? Tell us.
My blogging story.
Go.
Oh, it's pretty well, like I say, mine's pretty boring and simple. But it was probably I created Lita Kino Anime Blog came to be in 2015. I think it was just end of 2014. I was using Google Blogger, but I wasn't getting the engagement that I wanted. Nobody comments on there, literally nobody. Like I follow some Google bloggers on there, and they don't get nothing, no engagement, no nothing. And I was Googling around on all the blog sites that were available. We have Wix, not a fan of Wix, really. And then I came across WordPress. I'd never heard of WordPress until then. And then that was in 2015 of January, or I think it was February. I decided to create my own blog because the initial inspiration, I was following a girl named Lilac Anime Reviews named Steph, and I loved reading her anime reviews, and she was partly of the inspiration for me creating my own blog. That I just wanted a place to, like every other anime blogger out there, to express their thoughts, and I needed a place at that time. I needed somewhere. I did. I mean, I had friends in real life that I could speak with about anime, and we had similar interests, but I just wanted another outlet, for my loner self. So yeah, I created the blog, and the blog is 4 years old now. I never did a special for it this year. I never even announced it's 4 years this year. I totally forgot. I've been meaning to get around to doing something for it, but I just haven't quite figured out what yet. So I put that idea off. But yes, so 4 years later, we've had the blog. I can't believe I've been running this blog for 4 years. So it's gotten to where it is today. I literally knew no one when I started, and the only way I have worked my way up to getting to know people. I wasn't really back then for getting really my name out there. Wasn't my intention back then. And of course, it all changes when you get deep into this hobby. You want to be known. You want to be known, and that's fine. Because that way, you get known more. You'll you meet new people. That was my whole endeavor of having this blog.
That's how you get the interaction you were looking for.
I did. That's because it was through sheer, hours spent reading people's posts and commenting, and then I got what I wanted in the end, which was the interaction. And ever since then, it's just been a constant thing. So, it's been a blessing having this blog, and I'm sure you would agree that it's been a blessing for you for having your blog. It is.
It is. I've met so many wonderful people, present company very much included, and it's Honestly, it's helped me sharpen my skills, and it adds a layer of interest to anime, which is a hobby I already loved so much. To be able to share it with people kind of all around the world that I never would have met otherwise, it just kind of adds on to it. It makes me enjoy it more.
I know. Thank God for the internet. It's a blessed and a cursed thing. I feel like it's a double-edged sword. I feel like it is. But
I think it's more of a blessing, honestly. The idea of being able to spread out information like that, it's one of the big advancements we've made. It's changing the world.
it is. It is changing the world. Changing the world in good ways and in some cases, bad ways. But that is just how when something becomes a thing, and it just takes off. I remember back in my day, when I lived in the UK, we just had dial-up. Did you ever have dial-up internet yourself, Irina? Because you live in Canada.
Uh, yes, Canada did have internet dial-up, and I do believe I'm older than you. So
Yes. I'm not going to ask your age. I'm not that sort of person.
you're a
I'm not.
very smart person. Yes.
You sound younger. You sound a bit younger than me. I mean, like I'm below my 30s. I'm not 30 yet. I won't hit that mark for another 2 years. So you probably can guess my age. But I don't feel it. Still a lot of life left in me. A lot of things to still do.
Of course you have a lot of
There's a lot of people in their 20s that say, "Oh God, you're getting old." I mean, I've said that before, but at the same time, like, there's still so much anime to talk about, so many unknowns to discover. So press on. We must press on in this life. But dial up, oh my goodness, a total nightmare in my household it was. I had to stop using the computer whenever the phone would ring, because you had to turn off, because the phone, you couldn't use the computer. Phone? Yeah, you couldn't use the computer and have a phone call on the landline at the same time.
Yeah, that for sure. But in my house, the phone just didn't ring. Like the phone, it would ring.
It didn't?
Exactly, it would ring with you, and no one could reach you. So if you were waiting for a phone call, then you couldn't go on. But even if you were on and you were wondering if someone was trying to call you, you'd have to kind of get off every 5 minutes and see, okay, not ringing. All right, let's get back on. It would take 5 minutes for like the dial-up to go through. Anyways, it was a test of patience.
Yeah, it was. It caused many arguments in my household. So as it does with anything, but yeah, it was pretty bad. And I remember the glorious day we got some half decent internet that wasn't so slow. It would take at least half an hour for a page to load with dial-up. I remember. It's terrible, god awful. And now I'm very blessed for the internet we have here, or have right now. Like, even back in the day when I moved to Australia, it would take like 3 hours for a 3-minute video to upload. Now it takes like 5 minutes. Maybe not even that. So I'm very blessed. I always feel blessed every day for little things like that. So and just it makes running a blog so much easier. So. But I'm so glad that I finally got to hear your boring blog story of how your blog how your blog came to be. No, I'm kidding. It's not boring.
It's very boring. It's okay. I know.
So all Irina's wings are all drunk on top of it. We are talking about a boring blog story. Anyway. So we'll get into the fun nitty gritty here. We will, and then we'll speak a bit more. The stresses of life of the blogger, because not many people who don't run a blog, they don't know sometimes what it's like, and the things that you face. Which I hope every blogger from now on in I speak with, that everyone will have a different say, a different opinion. You can start us off on that. But with because obviously you named your I drink and watch anime, so obviously you've got your favorite drink in hand every time you sit down and watch an episode. I assume every
Oh
time.
my God. Yeah. Every 6 episodes a night.
Oh.
Going through bottles after bottles.
Well, I'm sure everyone listening needs to know the most important fact about you is, what is your favorite, what an alcoholic beverage or beverages to be precise.
Well, again, so dreadfully boring, but I like vodka. Just, my Eastern European roots showing yet again.
Oh,
Just plain
nice,
old.
nice. Any particular type of vodka, like your Smirnoff?
I'm actually rather fond of Polish vodkas like Belvedere.
Oh,
Really
lovely.
bad. And they're just slightly sweeter, less bitter. The Russian vodkas, the Smirnoffs and so on, are quite harsh. And this is going to turn into a booze podcast real quick.
Oh, I know. I wish, but unfortunately, it's about only 12:15 here in the afternoon, so it's a bit early for me. I wish it was nighttime for me. I mean, feel free to go open a drink if you would like during our
I'm
time.
considering.
You're very, very welcome to.
Almost 11 here on a Saturday.
Oh yes, it's fitting for you. Unfortunately, the time zones are not in our favour. If it was Aussie summertime and your winter, then it would be favourable. So maybe that is a potential idea for around
we'll meet
next
again
time.
in 6 months. Yes.
Yes. But do you like vodka cruises, all that jazz? Because a lot of girls get pinned or like, oh, that's such a girly drink. I like me a vodka cruiser.
Well,
The
thing is, to be blunt, I drink a fair amount. So
you're not a lightweight. You're not a lightweight.
I'm no longer a lightweight. Drinks that are very mixed and they have lots of sugars.
Yeah, they do. It's terrible
to
sugars.
Tend to give me huge headaches after a while.
Yeah, even the sugar-free ones taste horrible. They have a horrible ingredient in there that I don't like and that's in a lot of carbonated soda drinks that doesn't make you feel good. So I'd never have the sugar-free alcohol. You just go for the premium stuff. Why would you go for the sugar-free stuff? Go for the premium stuff.
I mean, you're getting drunk. Obviously, your health is not the number one thing on your mind here.
Well, I personally, I don't drink like all the time. I mean, I do at least, I think, drink. Well, at the moment, it has been like every week, but I don't always go out of my way to buy alcohol. I probably only have 1 or 2 drinks a week. Most of the time, I barely have soda anymore. I just mainly have tea, juice, and water. Mainly.
Fair enough. Good for you.
But like tonight, I might have a drink tonight. I've got some cider sitting in the fridge. Round about now, I do. It's sounding very mouth-watering. Oh dear, this podcast is meant to be about blogging. We're just talking about drinks. I do like to have a drink while I'm blogging sometimes. I think my latest phase I'm going through right now, because I never was open to the idea of trying different drinks, like whiskey, brandy. I've never tried those yet. I'm coming out of my comfort zone slowly. The other night, when I went out for dinner with my family, I had Captain Morgan spiced rum with some Coke.
Ooh.
I said, put some extra rum in there, will you, waiter, please? And all my family's staring at me, and the waiter looks at me and says, ugh, we don't get many females ordering that kind of thing.
No, oh
no. I mean, girls get the martinis, they get the cruises, the wine. I'm just a rum girl over here in this corner.
Nice.
But it was so lovely. Captain Morgan, definitely try it if it's over in
spiced
Canada.
rum is actually delicious, yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I did ask them to put extra in, and they did, and they just got the blend right with the Coke and the rum, and it was very nice. I just like it in a small glass because seriously, I'm a lightweight. it goes to my head so quickly. Just one shot to my head. I'm like, oh okay. Uh, I wasn't driving, so I could have had more, but I decided not to. I didn't. Yeah, so like little treats like that are nice. But it's been on the rare occasion I've actually sat down and I've got a drink in hand while watching anime. I might do that tonight because, you know, I've been wanting to try one of your drinking games with it.
Oh.
Because if anybody doesn't know about Irina's blog, the very special thing that makes her stand out from the rest is that at the end of any of her anime reviews, she puts at the bottom to follow a fun drunk game. So say if someone says someone's name in the anime, you take a sip of a drink. If someone says a funny line in the anime, you take a sip of your drink. So it's so unique. Of course it's going to stand out, and I need to try one of your drinking games. I've been
Well,
meaning
you
to.
do know I have a conversion chart for those that don't drink, for you can
No,
change drink.
I don't need the conversion chart, thank you.
Okay, okay.
But I will do it with Natsume's Book of Friends. Because we all know, or I know, how much you love that show. You and Karandi love Natsume's Book of Friends.
Yes, we're fangirls, indeed.
It's good. I mean, I was never interested in the show for quite a long time, but from reading both of your posts, I'm convinced to definitely watch the series now. So when I sit down and watch the first season, because there's like 6 seasons, it could be more. I will definitely.
More.
Yes, there could be more. A movie. I will sit down. I will have my vodka or whatever choice of drink you select for me, Irina. You can select the drink for me.
I do believe my recommended drinks for Natsume was spirits.
Spirits. Oh, okay. I like spirits. What's your favorite type of spirit?
I don't know. I really don't know. What's your favorite type?
So being completely and utterly boring British that I am, I am really British, but you know, going to the Aussie land. I'm just a mixture of a bag now. People don't know how to take me in my accent. I like a drink called Pimm's.
Yes, I love a Pimm's cup, yeah.
Just with lemonade and Pimm's. It tastes like a fruity tonic drink to me. It's just really refreshing if you've been on the heavy side of things. So when I had my rum, I'm like, I need something light, so I asked for a Pimm's, and I'm like, yeah, this did the trick. So, but maybe I'll try whiskey. Maybe I'll try whiskey with Natsume's Book of Friends. Yeah, whiskey and Natsume's Book of Friends.
Just jump in the deep end, man. Well, I gotta say, after a few whiskey, you're gonna think it's the best show ever.
I know. I'll have to ask some advice. I will, probably, from my dad. My dad likes to drink whiskey now and again, so he'll give me the best brand.
There you go.
He will. So, are you a wine person yourself?
Well, I mean, I drink wine. I don't know very much about it. I have my favorites.
Are you a white wine or a red wine person?
Red.
Oh, yes. You know, I've been a white wine person for ages, but slowly, probably in the past 3 or 4 months, I've gone on to red wine now. There's only 3 types I like, which are all Aussie brands here, because seriously, Irina, if you ever get a chance to come out to Australia, definitely come to the south, because or anywhere in Australia, wine, it is phenomenal. Like having your at your footsteps, going to a winery here is within like 20-minute range. That's like crazy to me still, because where I used to live, there was nothing like that. I lived in a small village. There was like one fish and chip shop, one library, one of everything.
And in the UK or in Australia before?
In the UK. So I lived in the UK for 15 years, and then I came out here in 2005. So just being, having the beach 20 minutes away, having like a winery and vineyards 20 minutes away, it's mind-boggling. The wine region here where I live in particular is very well known. Oh my goodness, you would love it. I mean, I think anywhere in Australia with their vineyards and their winery industry here is just phenomenal to me. So if you ever come out here, oh, be ready. Be ready. Or if you ever plan to come out here. But
Oh, I have been to Australia, but it's been a while. I'd love to go back.
oh my goodness. When did you come out here?
I've been for work a couple of times, and I also used to have family there where I visited when I was younger, but that was a good 15 years ago. But
Oh,
I
wow.
last time I've been for work was maybe about 4 years ago, 2015. Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, didn't I say the podcast or before we started recording that I would find out some secrets? And see, I didn't
Yeah,
know that. I didn't know
yeah.
you had been to Australia. See?
Oh, there's very few places I haven't been actually.
Oh, well, I imagine, what other places have you been to in the world?
Well, I was born a while ago while communism was still a thing, and I'm a refugee. So for a while,
Okay.
we changed countries every 2 to 3 months. So I did all of the European ones. Uh, then I did Togo, Djibouti, Madagascar for several years, South Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria for several years.
Oh my goodness, you really have made your way around halfway across the world. My goodness.
I've been to India, Japan, Vietnam, Australia, uh, both America, Canada, and the United States, lots of states. I've never been to South America though.
Oh, okay. Well, there's always a place that we all haven't been to, but you like being in Canada as your central home.
Oh, I adore it. I adore it.
I think you're a cold person. You like the cold.
I
Cold.
do like the cold very much, yes.
You like Mel then. You like Mel. She likes the cold more than the
Well,
warm.
Mel and I live very close to each other.
Yes. Yes, she did. I think she believes she mentioned that to me. For those that don't know who we're talking about, Mel is another fellow blogger. She is, and I think that's wonderful because she recently went to fan anime. She did and got to see Shay, Lynn, and Hazel, which was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Well, I hope have you? Yes, you guys have met in real life, haven't you?
Yeah, a couple
Yes,
of times.
I
Yeah,
completely
we go for
forgot.
drinks and stuff. Yeah, we live close to each other.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! Well, I didn't know that you guys go for drinks. Oh, hopefully you don't get Mel on the heavy stuff. Oh,
No, he's very disciplined.
oh, very disciplined. Yeah, I don't think you're the disciplined I want, Irina. It's alright. I like the undisciplined ones.
Oh,
So, um, can we get a little look in or a sneak in of any potential things that you would like to do with your blog for the future?
well, I'm very I take things as they come. I basically I get an idea, I just try it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've started blogging on Karandi's blog fairly regularly. And I was looking for a way of maybe merging the blogs, but I haven't quite figured it out yet.
Oh yes, because I know you and Karen are very good friends now, very buddy buddy, and that's great. I love seeing that sort of thing. Forming any kind of friendship like that. And I mean, I hope you guys do. I mean, you guys collabs are always really fun. They are. I mean, I don't always get to half read them because when you follow like 350 blogs,
I know, I
it's a
know.
bit hard.
You do what you can.
Your eyes go fuzzy. How many blogs do you follow in total yourself?
A bit over 1,000 actually.
Oh my goodness, well, that wouldn't surprise me. But when like you're like me, when you can just fully, unlike you, Irina, you can focus on your blog fully. When you're a blogger and a YouTuber and doing some other additional things, it's a little bit hard at times. And you know, trying to fit everything in. And I think, you know, when you start up a blog, I think that's one of the reasons that people feel deterred from wanting to start a blog. You know, they feel like they're not going to get noticed, and also that, you know, oh, there's like so many people to follow.
Oh no, that's, you make your choice of it. There are people who don't really interact with anyone off their blog.
Yeah, I mean, that's just speaking from what I've seen in my time blogging and what sometimes happens now. But it's really nice to see, you know, there's been a lot more new bloggers coming on the scene in the past probably couple of years.
Yeah.
Which has been great. I mean, I'll admit it's very hard to keep up with people, it is. And I try and at least spend half an hour a day, at least, mostly in the morning, just reading through some blog posts. And I think you're very good at doing that yourself, Irina. Even though you work, I know you work full time, and you still, you consist. That's one of your main factors. You consistently blog every day. But I know that you're scheduling like crazy, and that's one of the fundamental things I think to make your blog, if you want to make it a success, but also if you would like to be consistent or feel some sort of achievement, you know, scheduling ahead. I mean, you know, personally for me, you know, I kind of, you know, I was good at that for a while, then you slowly fall off the bandwagon, but then that's because you want to concentrate on other things in life. And I mean, you know, now I'm hoping for, you know, I've got some upcoming plans for towards the end of the year, so I'm hoping maybe the schedule in advance thing will become a regular thing, hopefully. Hopefully.
It's a lifeline for me. I don't think I'd be able to post the way I do if I didn't essentially schedule things months in advance.
Yes, I mean, you never seem to run out of ideas. I feel like that you're like me in that aspect. You feel like that you won't run out of ideas, but there's sometimes where you will come to a halt. You'll hit a wall. I've hit the wall many times, but I believe there's inspiration all around, and I feel constantly inspired every day from what I read from people's posts.
That can help, yeah.
Well, one example I can give is my recent post that I did was talking about what would be who would be in my thug leader squad. And that inspiration from that came a tag that I was tagged in, that pirate tag that's gone around, pirate crew tag. And I lost the post that somebody tagged me in. I know it was Biblio Nyan that tagged me in it. And I thought, crap, I can't find it. So then I opted for the option of doing a little thug leader squad thing. And if nobody knows about the whole thug leader squad thing, I'll probably talk about that in another podcast, probably. The story of how that came to be. It's just really the hashtag thug leader. It just goes around. Well, we know Sailor Jupiter is, you know, she would be a great thug lead. She'd be a great leader. She would be great master of a whole gang. And I just did a post about it, of who I would have in my gang. And yeah, I mean, Irina, we were talking about this just before we started recording, that instead of you having a squad, you would have a mob. Because your mob would be half drunk, probably.
No. We don't judge, man.
Well, let's have some fun with this. So, what 5 members, or who out of anime or anywhere, who would you have on your mob?
Just like any sort of anyone, anywhere, could just be.
Yeah, we won't just tighten this down to just anime. Anywhere, any character.
No, it's gotta be anime.
Okay, all right. I know, because there's many drunks in anime. There's many drunk individuals.
There is. I would go with Yato from Noragami.
Oh
First off,
yes, beautiful
yeah, I
Yato.
mean, lots of opportunities, lots of possibilities. Having a agreeable gods on your side can't hurt.
I wouldn't say he's half agreeable all the time.
Well, yeah, we'll work it out. It's gonna be okay. And well, let's see. Integra Helsing, because always that's
Oh,
just
yes, you
it's a
have great
given.
taste. I used to hate that woman when I
Oh,
first watched Helsing,
oh,
but then
yeah.
afterwards she grew on me. I'm like, oh, she's a force to be reckoned with. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So,
I have a type like Olivier Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist, another strong, gigantic blonde.
oh
But,
yes, I need to
you
see
know,
Brotherhood. I still haven't seen Brotherhood. I've seen the original
oh,
only, so at least I've seen one.
I haven't seen the original, so there you go. We complete each other. And let's see. Okay, so we've got two. I need three
So
more. Part of my mob. Nice, interesting drunks. Let's see. Let me think. You're catching me off guard here.
I
I have
know you did a
many.
post about it. Your top 5 drunks. I
I
remember.
did. I've made many
Do
posts
you like
about it.
Do you like Fairy Tale?
I like fairy tale. I'm not up to date with it.
Oh,
I think
because
I let go of it about 60 episodes in.
there's a girl in there that gets drunk a lot
Yes,
with the
yes,
cards. She would
yes.
probably. Oh, I'm trying to remember her. I'm trying to remember her name now. Um, damn it, I've totally forgotten. Oh, I believe it
It's
was
not that easy when you're put on the
Kana. That
spot.
was it. Kana. That was it.
Yes.
She'd probably be a good. She'd be a good member. I can see her on your mob.
I don't know. Wouldn't she like steal all the booze though?
Oh, probably. But you want someone with like character. You do.
Oh, oh, I know. I would take the mom from Toradora.
Oh, I haven't seen I've seen the first 4 episodes of Toradora. That was a long time ago, but I do remember the mum. I do remember the mum. Oh, that'd be good. There is have you seen Neo Evangelion?
Yes.
There is damn it, what's her name? It's
Damn it, what was her name? Purple hair.
yeah,
Oh,
she would be a good one. I'm terrible, like, is it horrible? You just
Misato.
yes, Misato. Yes, give her
Misato.
a
Yes,
mention because
yes. I would go for, and of course Nyanko. Nyanko from Natsume.
oh, well, I've not seen
Well,
Natsume, but I
Nyanko
will look her
Sensei.
up. I will look her up. She'd be a
No,
good one.
Nyanko Sensei is the kitty in Natsume's Book of Friends. He drinks a lot.
Okay, well, I'll definitely give them a look up. I will. I probably should do my own drunk list. I probably should of
Sure.
who I would love to have
You
a drinking
should.
buddy
My
with.
mob got way more than 5 by now. It's sprawled.
Yeah, you probably had me. You probably had me outnumbered. Probably. I mean, I only wanted 6 in my squad. You want an even number. You do. I was pretty happy with my choices. I was pretty happy with my
What were
choices.
your choices? Remind us.
Let's
For those
see.
that haven't read the post.
So, for those that haven't read the post, well, I would love Ryoto Sakamoto from the anime Batum. Have you seen Batum, Irina?
I have not.
Oh God, you would love it. It's a bomb death game.
Oh my god.
It is exactly like Dead Man Wonderland. Probably Dead Man Wonderland is probably a bit more gorier, but this is just as gory.
Okay.
So it's about these individuals that are nominated from people that they wish for them to disappear out of the world, and these poor individuals are sent on this deserted island to left to die, but they all have to survive the game known as Batum. And one of those main characters, Ryoto Sakamoto, and he is, a 22-year-old, no job, has no ambitions. He just plays video games all day. And his own mother, his own dad, nominated him to die, basically. And
Oh,
so
that's scary.
he is one of the most skilled players of this game in Japan, and when he comes to realize that he's on this island and he has these bombs because he's wondering what these little circle things are, he realizes that somebody is trying to make Batum a real thing in real life. So it's only a 12 episode series. It wasn't fully adapted from the manga. The manga is about 26 volumes, 21. I'm currently reading it. And the anime, I wish there was more of the anime. The anime, I feel, is definitely just as good as the manga itself. And it's definitely underappreciated, I feel, as a series. Because the artwork, I feel, for the manga is phenomenal. It is so detailed. It's crazy. It's crazy good. You'll have to definitely just give a look up of one of the manga panels. And I believe this is a series that needs to be experienced through the anime, just to feel more of the impact. Like I've cried for the manga because there's been, quite a few impactful moments, but in the anime I kind of like sobbed, because, felt sorry for the main character. But Ryoto I picked because he has an alter ego where his sort of video game persona takes over, where he, really he's this, he's a total scaredy cat for the first few episodes, like he wants to get off the island, but then he realizes, he's got to kill people to survive, and his video game persona takes over, and that's a completely like lethal weapon of his, and he's very good at being strategic, and I would have him on my team because he's definitely got a good brain. He's become his lethal weapon. I'd have to baby him a bit, 22, and he's been through a traumatic time. But, I'd wing him to my side, easy pickings.
Sounds like a plan.
But, I think you'll most definitely enjoy Batum. Definitely.
Oh, I actually added it to my list while you were talking.
Oh, well, I'm sorry if I went off on a bit of a rant then, but
no. I just you stole that well. It's marketing. It's back on the attack.
I should just have a video series of me selling anime to you guys. My new marketing job for a podcast. I'll have to call it a name. I don't know what I'd call it though. Marketing anime. The anime marketer.
There you go.
But but Batum's great, and should all check out the manga, even though it's by Yen Press, and people complain that Yen Press books are expensive. I think they are a little bit, but it's worth it for the art. I've been borrowing it from my current library, and I definitely would want to collect this for myself. But it's one of those series that people cry out for it to be for a second season. It's like Yona of the Dawn and Dead Man Wonderland. We all want a second season for those. It's in that situation.
Basically.
Yeah, like Dead Man Wonderland had that left off. Like so many unanswered questions. I still want my bloody season 2. Same for Yona of the Dawn, even though the manga is past the first season of Yona of the Dawn. Yeah, we need that continuation. So
yeah, Yona just ended like mid-sentence.
It's ridiculous. Awful. My next choice would be Joe from an anime called Burst Angel. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I think I've heard of it, but I definitely haven't seen it.
It's an early 2000 anime. I'm not going to say the year because I can't remember off the top of my head. But the animation shows. It's a series I've never been able to complete. I've tried 2 times, and but
okay, you're selling it less well.
I know. I know. Well, honesty. You have to be honest. But I've tried it. The first time I watched it, I couldn't get through. Then I tried a second time. This was probably about 2 years ago, and then I remember when I got to the point in the series where I knew I couldn't continue, I just couldn't. Some of the storyline fell a bit flat for me. I want to revisit it a third time. Do the rule, 3 strikes and you're out. with this series I would love to do. But I think maybe it was the fact there's not really that much, there's not really fan service in this series. It's really just the clothing designs of some of the women in this. But essentially the story, from what I can remember, you're following this, I think, like, little mafia group type, we'll call them, and they just do little odd jobs, kind of like Gangster, and we have Warwick and Nicholas, who are like the handymen, you know, doing all these jobs that nobody else wants to do. And one of the main characters is Jo, and she's kind of like Revy from Black Lagoon's doppelganger in a way. If you've seen Black Lagoon, tell me you've seen Black Lagoon.
I have not seen Black Lagoon.
God!
I want to tell you, but
oh my God, you would love Black Lagoon.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna fall in love with Revy. You'll want to drink with her. She's good at having a drink with. But seriously, but anyway, so Jo is just, I would have her on my team because she is great with guns. And she, during this series, she's like Revy from Black Lagoon. Revy swears a lot, and she is a lot to handle. And so is Jo. Jo is exactly the same. And Jo is ultimately, underneath, she is very protective of her friend Megan. And she'll just drop whatever job she's doing and go saves her and whatever. But Jo, I love her for her insane gun skills, and also she pilots a gun mecha as well. So it's like, I'm getting a 2-for-1 deal. You know, I've got somebody who
she comes with the mecha?
Yes, she comes with the mecha. Yes.
Okay.
So she probably wouldn't get along. You wouldn't be able to get along with her very easily. But it's her gun skills I would want. But you know, we always need that quiet, shy. She's not really shy. It's more like she's quiet and refuses to get close to people. Revy's the same. She don't like getting close to people. But yeah, Black Lagoon, great action series. Oh,
I've been meaning. I've wanted to watch it for a long time. I just can't find it.
Yeah,
I should just buy it. Probably.
Yes, just buy it. Seasons 1 and 2, and well, essentially, it's about a guy named Rock. Who is his name? Rock? No, I can't remember his name. But he works an everyday job, and his boss sends him on a job where essentially his boss just wants to get rid of him, or the job is too dangerous and he was too chicken to go himself. And pretty much this guy is left abandoned, and he ends up getting caught up in a thug for hire group, which contains Revy, known using for it, and her group that includes Rock and some other dude. It's a pretty, messed up setting that they, live in, doing jobs, drugs, prostitution, all that. And it's about this guy named Rock. He gets the nickname Rock, and, him coming out of his shell and, experiencing things he never thought he would experience, and messing up his life. So there's plenty of action. Revy will become the center stage for you every time her mouth runs off with her. So loads of swearing. It's definitely an excellent anime for drinking too. Oh yes. You'll want a spirit, or you'll want some whiskey or something on hand. Most definitely. This is good. You're getting a 2-for-1 deal here, Irina. We're going through my list, and I'm selling you anime that you could potentially watch.
Honestly, I'm filling up my to-watch list.
All right, next up on my list was Nicholas from Gangster. Have you seen Nicholas? I mean, sorry, not seen Nicholas. Well, I should say you should see Nicholas. I mean, that body, seriously. But have you seen
another series that needs to get finished someday?
Oh, so have you seen Gangster, the series?
The series, yes. I have not read the manga.
Oh, yes. Okay, so good. I don't have to sell you on Gangster because that is a series I desperately would love.
Mel sold me on.
Oh, she's good. She's a good girl. We were talking about actually Gangster on when was it? Maybe just the night before, because I've been catching up to the manga. I'm on volume 6 right now because it went on hiatus, and I told her that volume 9, the latest one, is coming out next month or in August. I found out. So, but yeah, Gangster needs a season 2 because, you know, I wanted more of Warwick and Nicholas's backstory, and we never got that. And the manga has given me the backstory I wanted, and the recent volumes I've read, it's very intense.
Okay.
Intense and brutal. I think I tweeted about it, and where volume 6 left off of, it like made my stomach turn. It takes a lot for a manga in particular, you know, when reading a manga, for you to, like, you know, when it takes a lot for a story or while you're reading, for it to make you cry or for it to, you know, weird you out or gross you out. I felt grossed out. Like, I was grossed out, but it was in a good way. I'm just like, oh damn, okay. I'm not sure how to feel about this right now. But it is, so good. So good. Like, I'm psyched for the next 2 volumes. So, but Nicholas, I have had a thing for Nicholas since 2015, because 2015 was when I first started watching seasonal anime, and Gangster was one of the very first ones I ever watched seasonally. Isn't that funny? You can remember your very first seasonal anime you watched. But that's when I got into the scene, because back then Gangster, Food Wars, and like Snow White with the Red Hair is when they first started airing. So I know how old they are. I know how much I've loved them. But anyway, yeah, Gangster was...
So, 2015, you say?
Yes, 2015 is when
Did you start for your blog?
Yeah.
I was paying attention.
Yeah, so, well, because really seasonal anime back in 2015, it just took off then. And where it has gotten to now is crazy. Because before that, like, seasonal anime just wasn't really a thing as big as it is now. But from 2015, when I got in, when I saw it, and other people had seen it just take off from there. Because that's when the simulcast stuff really came in then. It was such a new thing back then, and now it's just completely taken off. Mm-hmm. So, and Gangster was nothing like what I'd ever watched before. And I just was completely sucked in to Warwick and Nicholas's characters. I apologize if there is vacuuming in the background during this podcast. No podcast can be perfect, because when I record my podcasts, they are in my study. Anyway, so Nicholas, he just completely took me in. I would want him on my squad for the experience. He's very experienced. You know, this is set in a very, you know, scummy, low-key setting. I have to be raw on this. You know, it's a un-utopia. You know, there is, you know, it's Gangster. You know, this is what I love about Gangster. You know, we've got the great setting. It's gritty. It's alluring. It has, you know, we have, you know, prostitution. We have, you know, drugs, all that, what's involved, mafia. Like, I love that sort of thing. It's exciting. It's thrilling to me. And, yeah, Nicholas has been around the block. You know, he's got the experience. And just because he's deaf, as his disability, he harnesses that disability and as his strength. He does. And he doesn't let it become a handicap for himself. And I love that about him. But, you know, when he's got a sword in his hand, like, you know, he's a force to be reckoned with. But, and I don't think, because in this series, we have individuals that are known as Twilights, or they are known as tags. And these people are not looked upon well behind society. There's a massive history behind them. And Nicholas is one of these tags. And for these tags to stay alive, they have to take this drug called Cerebret. And when they take this drug, it enhances their human abilities. They become superhuman strength they get. And that's why Nicholas can wield a sword so well. That's why I would want him on my team. And for the fact he's eye candy. Because, you know, we all gotta have our eye candy factor. So, hopefully I'm not boring you, Miss Irina.
No. Quite to the contrary.
um, and this is great, guys. If you haven't watched any of the anime I'm going through as I'm going through my list of who are what on my squad, you're getting a 2-for-1 deal here. So is Irina. So the next one I would have on my list is Masane from the anime Witchblade. Have you ever watched Witchblade, Irina?
No, I have not. I'm not doing good today.
No, you're doing terrible.
I know. I don't watch anime.
Well, look, I read your blog posts on anime that you've watched and reviewed, and you know I'm always sold. I know you sold me on Natsume. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is my life's work. Let's face it.
So Witchblade, I would have the main character Masane. Now, have you heard about Witchblade before? Because it's very familiar.
Well, isn't it? I thought it was a comic. I thought
Yes,
it was a
it is.
Western comic.
It is an old comic. Look, I never grew up with comics, so like, you know, I don't know the whole one-on-one on that. But Witchblade actually is a TV series as well, and and then it got adapted into an anime. I think Witchblade came out in 2007. It's by Studio Gonzo. It's actually one of my favorite animes by Studio Gonzo. And Witchblade is about, in the anime version, it's about this woman named Masane who survives a disaster called Ground Zero, where I think the earth gave way and split apart, and there was a massive explosion, killed so many people. And she somehow survived, and she has amnesia. She doesn't remember what happens. And when she's found, she's holding a child. And fast forward years later, she is lose a train of thought. God, I hate telling anime plots. Fast forward a few years later, the little girl's grown up, and I think she's around, I want to say, 6 or 7. Her name's Riko, and they're not mother and daughter, you know, biologically, or by blood, but they consider themselves mother and daughter. And Masane is on the run from child welfare because they want to take Riko away from her. And the story centers on her trying to make a better life for her and Riko, her daughter. But Masane is dealt a curse, a blow, because she ends up coming to be under the influence of the Witchblade. The Witchblade is this living organism that chooses its hosts, and it only chooses females as their wielders. No, if a male was gonna possess it, they'll blow up basically. And so this is a self-thinking organism all on its own, and eventually it kills its hosts. It does, and so it's said. But I'm not going to spoil anything too much about the anime. But really, it shortens their lifespan, and I say this in my list as well. But Masane, and it takes over them. These females who wield the Witchblade, they have this huge thirst for destruction, and she can't control it. Eventually, during the series, she begins to be able to control it. But a lot of people don't watch this series because of its over-sexualized characters, because, yeah, they're nearly not wearing anything. And the fights are like, what's the best word to describe? These women, you know, look like their hormones are running away with them.
Oh.
But it's not a bad thing. It's because they can't control the overwhelming power of the Witchblade. And this series is a series that gets misjudged a lot because, you know, beneath it all, you know, I really fell in love with Masane's character. She may appear that she wants all the money in the world, but really, every time she fights, every time she got herself involved with this organization that was trying to dispose of these other creatures. I can't remember the name of what they're called, But these failed experiments that are roaming around and running amok, and Masani has to go destroy them, basically. And Masani did it all for her daughter. There's a beautiful mother-daughter bond in this series, and it's so heartwarming, and that's why I love it. Beyond the over-sexualized characters and such. So if you can look beyond that, it's a good series. I think it's a good series. But in my squad, I need someone with a bit of heart, and I can have a one-on-one with. So Masane is a strong, resilient woman. And I know that she could handle herself and that she has a big heart. And I think she'd be a great comrade. So that's why I would have her in my squad. That was a bit of a mouthful. Have I sold you on Witchblade? Yes? No?
I think I read the original comics years ago. The story sounds really familiar, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I think Studio Gonzo did definitely take some of the traits from the original comic series and live action, then put it in the own anime adaptation.
I might give it a try.
I mean, like I said, the fan service and the overly sexualized character designs are going to be a massive put off for people.
So I've been watching anime for a while. I'm pretty used to it.
Well, let me know how you go. So it is what it is, but it's actually one of my favorite anime of all time. I'm one of these people that doesn't care about ecchi or, harem elements anymore. I'm all in or not in. And then the final on my list would be Saito Hadajima. And I realise I've been talking way too long about this list, selling anime to Irina. Saito Hadajima, he is from Rurouni Kenshin. Have you seen Rurouni Kenshin?
Yes, you do not need to sell me on Rurouni Kenshin. I've seen it twice.
Oh, yes! Okay. That's good. Rurouni Kenshin is by far in my top 10 favorite anime of all time.
Freckles remains one of my favorite OPs, and it's a wonderful series.
Oh god, like the manga, the anime, both great. Like, just it is a wonderful series. Kenshin. Every time I think about Kenshin, like, there's this figurine that came out last month, I think it was. I think it's by Good Smile, the figure company, I think. And it is a beautiful thing when you look at it. It's like $200, but I'm like, I want that figure. I'm not a figure collector, but I would want that Kenshin one because it's so beautiful.
It's Kenshin? It's Himura?
Yes, Kenshin. Yes, Kenshin Himura. It's so beautiful. I have to send you a link after this. I will of it. It's gorgeous.
You do.
But Saito Hadajima, which is Kenshin's rival. Do you know who I'm talking about? He's
the one with the black hair.
Black short hair. He's got 4 pieces of hair that fall in front of his face. He's a police officer. This is probably an interesting choice, but he's actually quite a selfish guy, and he's not going to listen to anyone. He'll just do what he wants. But I'm just like, watching how he fights his samurai skills. I'm like, I need that. It's kind of like another Nicholas in a way, except more hard work. But plus I need some other eye candy, so. But have you seen the live actions? Out of curiosity, I should ask Irina.
I've seen one. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Anyways, the actor was very pretty.
Oh God!
That's all I remember.
I know. Yes.
My brain might have melted to the other component.
I know. I'm just like they couldn't have found a more perfect actor. Like, there's just no way. I've seen the whole trilogy. Fantastic live action for an anime. I've seen other live actions. I'm not a fan of anime live action adaptations. It depends if it's good or not. But this one was done so well, like crazy good. But did you know that in summer 2020 we are getting they are going to adapt the very last two films live action. Where we have
Oh.
where we have the Kenshin OVAs, there is
Mhm.
Betrayal. It's covering Betrayal, which is focusing on Kenshin and Tomoe,
Mhm.
and then they're going to do the other film, The Fight, which is the final one, focusing on after all his fighting when he has his son with Karu and everything.
The
So
sad one, yeah.
yeah, no, don't spoil it for the folks. Don't say
No,
it's
don't watch
sad.
it, guys. Just don't watch it.
No, don't. Uh, no, please do. Please watch the live action Kenshin. Some good stuff there. Some good, great adaptation. But yeah, coming out of summer 2020, I could not believe when I read it on Twitter. I was like,
Hmm.
this is, yeah. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I'm like, it's fantastic. I'm so happy. So, but one of the sad things about Rurouni Kenshin, that a reason people will not check it out anymore, is due to the creator of it,
Yeah, the
what
controversy.
which is Watsuki, because he was, I think it was back in 2017, I believe. He was found in possession of child pornography, and then he was arrested, and then he was fined a massive penalty of money. Create I don't know how much in yen, something a million something. Which was very sad to find out it was. And I hate it in that situations where, you know, you love a work so much and then you find out something like that and then you don't want to love their work anymore.
Mm.
I mean, how do you feel about that yourself? I mean, did when you found that out?
Separating the work from the author.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, it's a difficult question.
Yeah.
If we look at artists that span back several generations, more classical artists, a lot of them had some very, they had slaves, they had some very questionable views on women. By today's standards, they would not, be considered acceptable in any way, but we still adore their works. Now, the problem is when the authors are living, kind of seeing their works, paying for them enriches them. So that's a little more tricky. I loved Kenshin as a kid, and I still love Kenshin. It's a great work. I never really, I hadn't really looked into the author at all before this whole story came out. Like I couldn't have even named, well, I knew the name, but I couldn't have shown you a picture of the guy or anything.
Yeah.
I just liked his work, but I'd never really looked into him that much. So I hadn't associated the two together. So when I see Kenshin, I still don't really think of Watsuki. And I honestly don't know how to feel about it. It's complicated.
It is. It is complicated. I wrote a post about it because I just needed to vent my feelings on that, and that I believe that I'm not going to stop loving Kenshin just because of that. I understand there's many people I've spoke with before over the years that, or when around that time that happened, that they're not going to like Kenshin anymore just because of that factor. And again, yes, it is a very difficult question to answer, and ultimately it's your choice in the
Right.
end. But because people don't want to pay their money knowing they're supporting a pedophile, basically, which is totally understandable. But yeah, I'm still always gonna love Kenshin. So
Then,
now.
and then, of course, there's the other question of he was found with pornography, I believe.
Yes, he was.
uh, Pornography of teenage girls or something,
High school
with
girls.
high school girls or something, which is by no means okay.
No,
It's creepy.
no, of course, no. I
You know,
of course I feel just anything like that. You feel it's
it,
disgusting behavior. Like
it's creepy, but and this is where the big debates that I read were, depending on where you live, age of consent, blah blah blah. it's a legal gray zone. So
Yeah.
there's that interpretation as well.
There's just so many factors, to consider, and yeah, it's hard.
In any case, I how can I put it? I think that I've written on this. I think that a work, once it leaves the author, belongs to the audience.
Yeah,
So
that's a good way of putting it. That yeah, it'll stay with you. It will. So speaking from like that angle, what I walked away with from Kenshin is it's one of the best stories in anime I've seen that did a fantastic representation on the meaning of redemption. We have Kenshin, who is a torn man, between of who he used to be, Batosai the manslayer, killing aimlessly all these politicians and that for the government, and then to his other self, which is the wanderer, and who wants to he refuses to kill again, and just the build up of the story for him finally finding peace for himself, finding belonging. It's so inspiring. So that's why I love Kenshin the most, because it's a beautiful story about redemption.
yeah, it's pretty. It's very pretty.
Yes. So anyway, well, we could be sitting here talking about Kenshin all day, probably. Maybe that'll be for a future podcast. But yes, Saito Hajima. Yes. So oh well, hopefully you guys got, a 2-for-1 deal here, me spilling my, why I love these series and why there should be on Minute Squad, and why, Irina should just add them to a list. But it's nice to know that you were a fellow Kenshin reader. I mean, not reader, lover, sorry. Nice to know that, because that's something I didn't know about you before. So, I mean, I feel like during our time, I've gotten to know a few little more things about you. So, but I think we will I think we'll wrap up things. We will now. But is there anything that you would love to ask me yourself, Irina? I mean, this is our first time together. Is there any pining question that you would have love to ask me? I didn't, because this is a surprise podcast, is it? So I didn't have the time to ask people, hey, can you send your questions in?
You asked me one question, but I'd like to know whether you have any upcoming plans for your blog, something that we can look forward to.
You're always on the lookout, are you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I do have a few plans. I do have. I always have plans in the secret Lita laboratory. There's always something concocting,
teaser, at least
bubbling away. Well, there's more Friday features coming. Where I'll be covering, some podcasts. I've diverted from just not only covering blogs, but I'll be covering podcasts, mainly blogcasts and blogs I'll be covering. There will just be, some more manga stuff. I'll be talking about some more manga, because I've just gotten back into the manga scene of things during this year. I have a couple of collaborations that will come out, hopefully. I'll have something exciting to announce the first week before July. I'll have some exciting to announce then.
So that's like next week, no?
Well,
the week after.
Yeah, not next week, the week after. So that'll probably be on the Sunday, probably.
Oh.
So people won't
Mark
find
your calendars.
People won't probably find this out unless they listen to this podcast, because I'm mentioning nothing until then. So yes,
good. It's an exclusive for the listeners.
Yes. For those that care, though, I mean, like, I have, there are people that, if you're a blogger and a YouTuber, they'll watch your videos, or they'll only read your blog posts, or both. So there's like these different audiences. But anyway, so yeah, I have some plans in the works, but I'm not overloading myself as I used to. It's one of the things about being a blogger. You overload yourself and you don't, like right now I have 2 collabs on the go. Like that's enough for me. I don't need to take on any more. But I did take on another one, but that's probably for July that will come out. But yes, many exciting things coming. I'm sure you have exciting things coming out yourself. There's something concocting within the Irina basement. I've got a laboratory, she's got a basement.
Yeah. Just plain old basement.
And there's whiskey and some vodka on hand next to her.
A bar, really.
Well, Miss Irina, I think we will wrap up things for now, because I think this has nearly been an hour and 15 minutes, and I know that you probably would love to go spend the rest of your Saturday evening some other way, probably. But if you guys would love to check out and follow Irina on her drunk blog, I will leave a link in the description for you. Definitely try out one of her drinking games. If you are not selling the sell factor now, the sell promo.
You gotta let the people know what to expect.
Yes. Irina is a wonderful blogger. And she doesn't know this yet, but she is somebody that I look up to, and she is she's part of the reason I have changed up my blogging style right now. Because because recently I wanted to have a bit more balance instead of being so structural, a bit more free form. So I'm having free form and structure flow at the same time. And I've gone back to my roots and treating my blog more like a journal, which is why you'll see Lita probably spanning out a bunch of crap now. So Irina is an inspiration for that. And, when you first start out blogging, you get caught up in the storm, and, going back to your roots is always a good thing. So definitely check out Irina down below when I was trying to finish this film, but Irina started laughing. And I'll put her Twitter as well. Check her out on her Twitter. And I'll put a Pinterest. I'll just put all the links, all the, all the links down there. And definitely, guys. And definitely, she recently appeared on a podcast from one of my fellow good friends, David, who runs the It's in Season Anime podcast and Anime of Some Sorts. Which one was it that you appeared on? The Anime of Some Sorts? Was it Irina?
Anime of Some Sorts.
Yes, definitely check out that podcast, guys. I checked it out when I was on the to and from work in one night. It was great. David does it along with Jack and Irina. They all talk about the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. And Irina recommends some, dating sim mobile phone games for David to try, potentially. So that was a fun time. So definitely I'll leave a link to that down below because that's a good time. You have some drinks on hand. And I love that he only said Netflix a few times during the during the podcast. We'll have to do our own rendition.
Work for Netflix or something?
Yeah, he only said it a few times. I'm like, David, you could have come up with a different name, a different one instead of Netflix. I would have thought every time someone says Resophon, because he loves that series to death, or say Gundam, I would have said that. But anyway, all the links for Irina will down below. Thank you so much, Irina, for doing...
my pleasure.
Yes, it's been an honor having you here, and I so look forward to our next round with, next round of drinks.
Same here.
Yes, it'll all be on me, of course, The thug has to make her guests very welcome. So... Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, the first of many. Hopefully you guys will get to know some bloggers. If you, don't check out the Annie blogger scene, I'm going to introduce you to some amazing individuals, and I'm just looking forward to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. And Miss Irina, do you have any parting words for our listeners?
Well, thank you very much for having me on, Lita. And we're all very happy that you're doing a podcast. I'm sure the listeners are just as thrilled as I am to hear your voice. It's so much fun. I bet it's even more fun listening on your way to work, hearing you
Oh
laugh
God, I
through
feel
the
like people are going to be
podcast.
laughing out loud too much.
Oh, great. It's a fantastic way to just cheer yourself up before a long, boring day at work.
I know, like listening to Irina's boring origin blog story.
Yeah.
Jokes, people, don't worry. All right, we'll catch you next time, guys, in the next guest blogger podcast or whoever I have a guest with, because this podcast doesn't really have like a name or anything. It's just, it is what it is, talking with
Do you have
guests.
someone lined up for the next podcast, or is that a secret?
That's a secret.
Ah,
I'm
you are
just full of
such a
secrets.
tease. Oh my God,
Tune in
fun.
next time to find out what happens coming out, unveiling out of the secret Lita laboratory. Until then, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.